hasn't had the greatest numbers put up, because more often than not, she's actually been seen play in the support position rather than the mid lane position. And of course, it doesn't help when Saros takes Diana and just bodies you when you pick it.
Yeah, well, fortunately, Plugo is adopting a strategy that I like to call, if you can't beat it, pick it. It's blind, so we can always see a Diana matchup, but maybe the LGL have something a little different up their sleeves this time around. We've seen Tussle lock in the Kha'Zix and Evie lock in the Pantheon. No surprises. This is exactly what they went with last time around.
I think I can hear Vedius from across the stadium as he looks at Nocturne and just loses it. He is a big Nocturne proponent, and it is now being hovered by Saros in that mid lane.
We've seen Nocturne already. It was a bit hit or miss in an AD carry.
We haven't seen it in the mid lane.
It's true, we haven't. But you know, what is the mid lane in Assassin's Mode? I feel like there's going to be a lot of free roaming no matter what. Still no Talon, so I'm upset, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll still be in for an explosive match.
See, it's the next evolution. Mithy was talking about how because this is blind pick and they can't see what each other are picking, you know, it comes down to this gamble of, do I take Diana? Do I then assume that someone's going to blind pick the Kassadin? Do I blind pick the Kassadin, thinking that it's going to be the Diana before I can get the counter matchup? And Saros is like, no, 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 no. We're going to go one step further, and we're going to go Nocturne mid.
There we go, and he's going to lock it at the end of it all. Players will soon see what they're up against. No surprises with a couple of LeBlancs, a couple of Aries, slightly different positions. I didn't expect it to be going top for Helior.
Yeah, that is interesting. It could just be what Helior is comfortable with. Again, something that we don't often talk about coming into Assassin mode is, you know, not all of these positions and these roles actually play Assassin. So
like, what's good? What's this good champ?
I think it's more of like Helior's like, when have I ever filled mid? What did I play in Ahri? I can play Ahri,
We played a Kali last time, and it was like, what? But, you know, the Ahri, we'll see if, you know, how it comes up big against the Pantheon. They've taken a Pantheon support for themselves, so.
And which build it's going to be. We've seen a lot of mixed damage Ahris coming through.
Trinity Force.
No.
We saw it once.
Definitely going to put the axe
I don't think
in
it
that
won. But that's okay. There'll be a lot of axes flying. All right, guys. Once again, it's time to vote at LOL Esports is the place. If you think Latin America South is going to keep this going and take a 2-0 victory on the match, propel themselves into the finals, hashtag LASwin. Or if you think the LGL has still got some fight in them, hashtag JPNWin is your cue. Team Ice, Team Fire, going at it on the Rift. This semifinal to determine who's going to make it all the way to the end is about to begin.
So let's start theory crafting the Assassin mode meta and the limited 6 games or so that we've had with it. I think it's all about the first gank. I think that the reason why we continuously see Kha'Zix mirror matches and why Kha'Zix between Shaco, Rengar, and Nocturne has defined himself as the best jungler in this mid lane, or excuse me, in this mode, is because he has the strongest initial level, you know, pre-6 ganks. Mm-hmm. And obviously, when you're with a bunch of assassins, whoever beats first to that punch, you automatically get a massive pressure advantage on that side of the map, and you get that first gank off, you pick up the dude who you ganked for, and you just start destroying all the other lanes and dreams.
I think globals is really important, too, though, when you think about it. This is why Pantheon's been such a big presence because of the Grand Skyfall. And we're seeing only 1 TP on the LGL side.
I love you, Pyra, but no one is picking Pantheon because of his Grand Skyfall.
I like him because of Grand Skyfall.
Everyone is picking Pantheon because of his targetable CC, his stun. It's one of the easiest to land out of the champions available.
Too.
They're like, oh yes, Pantheon, because of the AoE 15-minute drop.
All the same, there's mobility on that side. And on the other hand, Latin America South, they've got 2 TPs, remember. But that means they've given up some Ignites. They might lose out in 1v1 trades.
Speaking of mobility, this is kind of curious. Dara.
He just came to watch.
Well, it was very smart from Kratos as well to pull it into the brush and make sure that none of these cute shenanigans could have happened because he didn't see LeBlanc in the bottom lane. Yeah. But I quickly want to touch on Saros with the mid lane Nocturne pick. This is the first time that we've seen it in the Assassin mode, and what's really cool about Nocturne in particular on this mode is that no one is building Sightstone. Again, we technically have theoretical supports in the game, but the vision game has fundamentally changed because, again, you can't build any defensive items.
So when you think of a champ who can abuse lack of vision, well, he goes to the top of the list pretty quickly, but Wara is taking him on, who swapped towards the mid lane in lieu of Plugo, and I kind of like this. It's like each squad's strongest warrior steps up to the plate.
There's definitely going to be advantage for any time a LeBlanc steps into the mid lane, however.
Nice charm. Orb. We're the ones who deceived. Dara takes the damage there. Yeah, I like this, especially because they basically have 2 mid laners. Wara was a mid laner and role swapped, and we've seen that that's worked out quite well for him, so clearly he can go back to those roots. Let's take a look at our summoners. That is a Courage of the Colossus Diana.
It's pretty clear what Plugo's got in mind for himself. He's also going to be absorbing a lot of the pressure from Evie, so if we're looking at you know, Wara as being the mechanical god of Latin America South, we talk all the time about Saros, but kind of who didn't shine last game, but who shone in the first time there was a 5v5 was Evian as Tom Kinch. So this time around on the Pantheon, facing across from Plugo, you can already see that this is a bit of a volatile matchup.
Just a little bit. Wara just keeps on going, and Saros actually couldn't get the spell in time. There's a lot of minions here. Saros could be in trouble. He's got a Nama Biscuit.
I'm really surprised that Wara didn't try to punish that at least with a few more autos. Certainly respecting the fact that he doesn't have eyes on 3 members, and you can see that this is about to be a party in mid.
Uh-oh. LeBlanc, Kha'Zix's coming on in, and Wara, he's healthy enough, and he has the jump on him to get away. He looks very much in his element on this LeBlanc, though.
Ultimately, though, that just alleviates pressure from Saros' Nocturne, but he's still falling behind.
Yeah. Well, Wara was definitely the much more comfortable player the last time the Assassin mode came around among all of
for his team.
The Latin America South players. I want to add that caveat. He was the only one that had a scoreline that looked relatively positive. But, I mean, that was a very big dominating game. This game looks to start out a lot different as Dara comes back and joins already in the bot side up against Bear. Charm lands, max range. Oh, they got the damage, and they turn on Helior. We can see first blood right here. Dara's going to back out, and they play the control game.
And you can see what Dara's trying to do with his distortion and replacing himself. He's trying to dodge out on Heartseeker's strike. So kind of some cute sidestepping, but ultimately while he's doing all that juking, he's still taking a ton of damage, especially from the creeps as well as the Ignite.
Speaking of ton of damage, Plugo's got to burn that flash, and they finish him off. The Void Spikes, Tussle picks up first blood.
Disaster for Latin America South, because now, of course, this unlocks Evie. Meanwhile, mid.
Yeah, they're going to try to turn for Saros, so Kha'Zix is already coming up big, but Saros is able to flash away before any more damage is dealt, and they burn summoners across the board down there.
In the end, though, still advantage to Japan. So now it's a question, what will Tussle and Evie do to continue to exploit this advantage that they've created, and can Plugo continue to hang on? Unfortunately, he loses a ton, not only going down his first blood, but the fact that his teleport had been burned, and he has to walk all the way up towards that top lane. He's sitting at, what, 19 CS to 28, so Evie building a very healthy lead.
Yeah, I was about to be like, what are you talking about? He's got 30. Oh, that's a mid laner.
Oh.
Yeah. Got juked again. That's what the Assassin mode's really all about. Plugo's definitely had a hard time in this, and you know it's kind of curious because he's the mid laner, but he's clearly not quite as comfortable on these types of champions. We know he likes the victors. Clearly, the Ryze works in his wheelhouse too, but Assassins are a different beast.
He's more of a control mage player. He's excited to come to this tournament. It's funny because Latin America South, they scrim with the Brazilian teams, and so you can definitely see how that's certainly not inflated their performance, but kind of trained them up to aspire to this.
They beat him out just barely to get in this spot too.
This is unfortunate.
Oh, Tussle's incoming, and they do not see Evie. Oh boy.
He knows that at least one person's there.
There you go. He's not going to take the one-on-one.
Okay, golf clap.
Give him that. Well done. Well played. And I mean that's kind of his job right now. Plugo's just trying to stay alive a little bit longer. You can see his buys kind of designate that he will be going for the Abyssal Scepter. He has to build an offensive item, but starts, of course, with an Negatron Cloak.
Well, Plugo is going for his armor build. Again, you were juked again by the itemization because he is facing across from the Pantheon, so the MR wouldn't mean much for him.
Yeah, I keep getting juked.
I know, you keep looking at Ari. I was like, the Negatron Cloak's really not going to help him.
No, not there. But the Seeker's Arm Guard for Plugo, so he'll be able to get his... He'll be able to get his hourglass soon enough. And, you know, when the team fights start happening, that's when the things really get crazy. But LGL's still on the offensive right now. And Plugo's actually found Tussle in the jungle trying to get desperately back to his base. Can he do it?
Leave Plugo alone.
Tower. He's just trying to farm. Saros is going to get caught up by Wara. He's actually had the jump on in this game. Wara's looking really good.
Well, the top side of the map is completely won for Japan. Again, that's another massive wave that's just been pulled away from Plugo. He is hemorrhaging on experience as well as CS gold. So this poor Diana is in a very sad state of affairs. The one caveat is that Diana actually has a really cost-efficient build path and a very flexible build path. So he'll still be relevant coming into late game, but we're not going to see, you know, the Saros Diana that was two-shotting people coming out of Plugo on the top side.
Yeah, Saros, he gets fed on that Nocturne. We might see some of that
happen
to him, but Heredi just gets shredded. Able to flash away at the last second, and Klados is coming down too, so they're really focusing their energies on this bottom side of the map.
And they can try to push this tower down, because Wara also has the jump on mid lane. Saros is not working with a ton of mana, so this Nocturne really can't contribute to anything if this LeBlanc decides to mosey down there.
Yeah, the chains are going to land too. He's able to get a little bit more chip damage. The Shadow Orb comes in, and there's a big wave building, as you said. Dara is all alone. Tussle is going to come to the rescue, but that's a lot of damage on the tower.
And time again, LJL have proven that when it comes to toe-to-toe mechanics, they are superior, but Latin America South are just making the smarter decisions across the map. There we go, now they're pulling Wara. They won't take the tower down, but it's just above 50%, and that does mean a lot.
Yeah, and Evi's going to have to come down to this mid lane right now to try and make a play because they realize that Plugos is not a threat. He's going to just come back up to the top. Okay, the Grand Skyfall. See, that's why you pick it, Frost. But Plugo's going to die, it looks like. This is not looking great. He's taking tower, however.
To the Colossus!
Get the outplay. He flashes and he blocks it. Woo, buddy.
Definitely was the stun, but hold on. Wara's trying to make redemption. Can Evi get back in time? He should be fine.
Oh, he needs to move fast. Evi is going to finish the job, and he gets away with it while Wara's still hunting to no avail. Unlucky. Whew. Okay, 2 kills to Japan in 9 minutes. It's definitely been a much slower affair than we saw the Assassins of the day before yesterday, if you will.
Hold on, bot lane. Total control of LJL right now.
Yeah.
There's 4 members down there, especially Seros rotating. He's now got full mana.
Oh god,
here comes Evi. This is a 5v5.
Helior comes in and realizes this is not a good place to be. Bear is going to get shredded, and now they turn on to Dara, but Helior is isolated, but Plugo comes in to pick a kill himself. And see if he stays alive throughout this one. There are still 4 members of Team Fire closing in on him. Wara coming up the lane. Nice pull-in by Plugo, and Wara is coming up huge. Plugo is able to stay alive even through the minion damage. He gets the level up. You gotta be kidding me. Wara's now gonna be able to finish off Evi with some help from Plugo, and just like that, it's 4-4.
Plugo's mechanics? What mechanics? Flashes in, gets a displacement on 4 members under tower, stays alive, and turns that around for Latin America South. I take it all back, Plugo. That was amazing.
That was the sickest moonfall I have ever seen. Let's see that one more time.
Okay, so LJL make a great decision here. Unfortunately, they don't juggle tower aggro the best between all of their members. And even more unfortunately is what Plugo's about to do next to them. Oh, come on, line up and flash.
Boom!
Oh, satisfying to watch. Then Mora comes in, hits the big AoE damage, and the tower is just doing so much work. And this is 2 times now that the LGL have been punished for overstaying under a tower.
And if Plugo had not leveled up there, he would have died to minions.
Helior's
and then he
like,
wouldn't have been able to help finish. It's such a chain of events. It's so good. Oh, and here comes the Grand Skyfall out of Evi. That's going to prompt Bear to flash quickly. Into the charm goes Evi, and Helior's backed off now.
Reset. We should be fine.
That's a lot of vision investment by the LJL.
A lot of control wards, but they're cheap.
Yeah.
They're nice. We've now got a different lane assignment.
He's playing with some confidence. He moonfalls back. Dara's going to try.
That's a support LeBlanc.
That is a support LeBlanc, and that's not going to live much longer. Plugo can't finish the job, however. He's out of spell rotation, but he is starting to live large, and Klados might be able to finish this kill.
Goodbye.
He's going to go in, ults, flashes, Dara.
He doesn't have his E because he used it to go over the wall. Dara, why?
Nowhere to go, and Klados takes a swipe out of him.
Didn't want to gamble with the cooldown, decided to try to juke him up. Meanwhile, mid.
Wara is able to nail Evi, but Seros is there.
Okay, so difference between the damage. That's the mid lane LeBlanc versus the support LeBlanc that died top lane. And that was, I believe, a single chain as well as a sigil proc that almost half-healthed Evi. So Wara really showcasing why this champion is considered so high tier right now by a lot of professional players and streamers. Big thing for me, for LeBlanc in particular, is how her wave clear was changed. Technically, yes, her burst damage was elongated over about 5 seconds comparatively to what it was, but now she can proc multiple sigils. They have AoE ability on her Q, so she's got multiple ways to push waves.
And do that.
As well as just be terrifying under tower, as usual.
Yeah, Seros, this Nocturne pick, we definitely weren't quite expecting that, and I don't think he's been expecting the punishment he's been receiving, as Tussle now might find himself under fire from Klados and Bear, but no. They go in for a roam, and they come right back out.
Well, the problem is they need to unlock Seros from that lane so he can abuse the lack of vision on this map and start using that Nocturne ultimate effectively. But across from LeBlanc, he should spend all of his time under tower. The problem with LeBlanc and why she's always going to be powerful are her trade patterns. The fact that she can put massive amounts of damage on you and the creeps at the same time. There's no, clever choices to be made on that champion.
Plugo is pulling Evi in once again. He's able to block quite a few shots, one from the tower, but Plugo is still confident to chase him down and push him off. Tussle might have to tag in.
problem is that Plugo got so much gold from the assist as well as the occasional kill from that initial bottom dive. So all the work that Japan had done topside putting him down has been almost completely reversed. And we're getting to that point where Diana has her armor, so the Kazakhs and the Pantheon are losing their grip on her up top.
And they're not closing the net right now. Evie is going to back away, which means, or stopping his back. Okay, they're still trying to pick this. It's
still a dangerous situation if she can get underneath the tower. So they need to kill her before she gets there.
Uh-oh, starting to run back. Now realizes something is up, goes straight for the river. And the Golden LeBlanc just goes right by. Plugo looks for Evie to see if he can finish the kill, but no. The 2v1 was just too strong as Saros takes a few pot shots on his way up to mid.
Good catch from Saros, however, to make sure that Wara isn't leaving the mid lane and contributing to the top.
Wara he sees Dara come in, and rather than trying to dump a couple spells on him, he just keeps farming.
Support LeBlanc. He's
Not
there for the
threat.
CC.
All right, now it's an Ahri battle in the bottom. Saros trying to keep his mid lane alive.
And I believe to circumvent the health, because again, in this mode, you must build items that have AP or AD in finals.
But that counts as an item that will work towards the spooky ghosts.
Exactly. He's...
Uh-oh. Wara. Okay, it's going to be a 3-on-1, and Evie shoves the spear in him. But let's go back to spooky ghosts.
It's if he's going to get the spooky ghosts or if he's just going to sit on the components of it. Or if he's going to upgrade it into the, what is it, Watchers?
I believe he has to upgrade it as far as the next item, because you're not allowed to build a defensive item unless your next buy.
You can't complete a defensive item, but you can actually sit on a variety bucket of just pseudo-tanky items or uncompleted tanky items.
What a loophole. These guys.
I'm just going to build all Giants belts.
Yeah, I was working on a Rylai's. Come on.
Don't do that. It's not cost efficient.
No,
that wasn't actual advice for Assassin mode. Don't build all Giants belts.
Frost told me it was okay. All right, Tussle's going to hop his way over and pick up a dragon here. Helior has turned mid, and Saros is having a hard time, but he gets the chase on right now because, well, he thinks he's got allies coming, but it's actually back up from Latin America South as Tussle's preoccupied with the dragon. Ferretti going up, and now it looks like Latin America South want to pick this tower finally. Get themselves first tower blood, but there's a teleport on. They could just rush it, but Plugo's interrupted the TP.
And with the teleport not coming in, that will give Latin America South the go-ahead to push it down. I don't know if the TP was going to be the primary deterrent anyway.
Plugo just stops.
Here comes.
You can't kill me.
Oh, Kratos was heading up top, now going back mid. But still, Latin America South, you know, strong macro grip on the game as well as the map. And it is going to be the Eye of the Watcher upgrade from Dara. I was going to say, he has to go Eye of the Watcher. He can't go Ruby Sightstone.
Yep.
Doesn't have any AP or AD on the item.
Would not be allowed. Wara is waiting, seeing if he can get a cheeky pick. And he looks to target Ferretti, but backs away when the chains start coming out. 2v1, that was ballsy. He's got Bear and Helior waiting in the wings, but they're going to back away and move to mid.
And everything should be calm. With the Dragon cooldown down, it seems like LJL feel confident that they just want to continue to sit in their lanes and farm out. No one's setting up too many traps or making any sort of crap or cross-map rotations right now.
Yeah, we talked about the Assassin mode meta kind of evolving in terms of champion choices, but what's really nice to see is a much more controlled style from both these teams over the last days, since the last time they met, where it was a lot more chaos, a lot more action left and right all the time, which is great, don't get me wrong, but this is very smart objective-based play from both teams. Plugo firing away at the tower up top. It's going to take him a little while, but there's no one there to stop him.
Evie does have his ultimate, so he can get there. Saros also has his ultimate.
Yeah, but what he doesn't know is that Kratos is here. So Plugo, oh, there's a TP coming in as well, and they're going to turn right on to Evie, who's got to burn his flash, and Plugo keeps going, goes gold, and takes down Evie, and in comes Saros, who finishes him off. Even burns his flash.
Oh.
Wara. Okay, that was bold.
Okay, so a trap finally was set up, and as I talk about that, meanwhile...
Dara is going a little low. Helior should be able to find him if the chains don't finish the job. The flash, the auto, not enough! And he burns his flash to get away. Oh, boy.
Literally escapes with a sliver of health. See if these two can escape. Who's going to take it?
In some trouble right now. Wara's just going to try to misdirect. He does, and in comes Tussle. Oh, they blue smite him down. Wara's got the chains, and they finish the job. Tussle.
Teleport.
In comes Plugo. They're tagging in. Siros is in some trouble now. Who is catching who? He pulls him in. Moonfall. Helior is incoming. The orb will bounce. It'll take the damage. Foxfire, everything is on him, but it's not enough.
Excellent spell shield there.
Oh,
No!
Saros is still alive.
He's got vision.
And he's got help. Just take the tower, boys.
Evie, don't do it. It's not worth it, Evie. Evie?
He's going to try. I mean, you got to give him props for being a man, but right now, he might be regretting this. He does have backup Dara, but Dara just doesn't have the damage. Plugo kiting away. Still on the run, the orb comes in, and they are going to back off this time around.
Yes, with Kratos taking the recall back, it does signal that Latin America South we're done. We thought this was a good idea the first 4 times we went up top lane, but we're fine now.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this Assassin's Creed.
Okay, so it's a trap set up into a trap. This is the double trap card. Latin America South have Kratos waiting in the wings, but surprise, Saros is also making his way up through the river. He's like, what? It's a double trap?
No one expects it.
No one expects the trap.
Definitely not. 7-7 in kills. We're very close to even, but the LGL have that slim lead. And Dara, bless his heart, keeps trying to find picks, but he doesn't have damage.
I'm repeatedly told that Dara has done, at least 3 minutes ago, about 40% of his team's damage from support LeBlanc.
You're serious?
Yeah, I literally pushed back into my producer. I was like, how is that possible?
I don't even understand, but this is why I don't do math. On the broadcast, as Plugo gets taken down before he tried to tag in. Kratos looks to try and hunt down Evie, but to no avail, and now here comes Dara. There's that 40%.
You're gone as well.
Bye, Kratos. Oh! That was nasty.
Oh, no.
And in comes the man drop. Bear finds Tussle, but who is finding who? Support Pantheon not looking so hot right now, but they do take down Evie, and Wara has tagged his way in. These guys just keep taking these fights. These odds are crazy. They're high-fiving into death.
I was just about to say, just the controversial run-in 1 at a time into 5 people and see how it works out strategy not paying off for Latin America South.
Yeah, at least Helior didn't fully commit to that, and Plugo's coming back up. The charm does not land, but now you can see LGL knocking down towers up top.
He's just trying to thin the creep wave as best as possible, but this is a huge swing of power for the LJL. The fact that they picked up all of that kill gold straight into their back pockets, as well as 2 towers to snowball them ahead. What was a very slim margin between these teams has now ballooned to close to 5K.
Yeah, and just look at how things all kind of began here with Plugo just saying, that's okay, I can deal with the Pantheon. But he didn't realize that Tussle was right behind.
And there is no real rhyme and reason to any of the continuous fights that we've had at top lane. It makes a bit more sense for Japan right now simply because that tower is so low. But this has been the story of just using as many global ultimates as possible to get up top lane.
But after this is all said and done, look at what's happening now in the picture-in-picture in the bottom of your screen. The Baron is being fought over. Evie tries to interrupt. It's such a quick pickup by Latin America South to try and force this issue. And unfortunately for them, they're not able to make it happen, and the spikes just keep on punishing Wara, who's going to have to jump over the pit. Takes a few parting shots as well, but they did manage to grab Evie, so at least they got something for their troubles.
But you can understand the mentality here. They had a window knowing that Japan had reset their positioning after taking the top inner turret. So they wanted to rush the Baron on that tiny window while Japan are in their base and trying to get back on to Summoner's Rift.
Back on to Summoner's Rift. Tussle is going to find himself another dragon. Not sure how useful the Ocean Drakes are because it's out of combat regeneration, and we've seen a lot of combat.
It's actually super useful because we've seen them running across maps to get involved, so that region is going to be actually very relevant. They don't have time to be in base.
I was trying to be cheeky. You blew my cover.
No, I got you.
Yeah, okay. It's good.
It's fine, Pyra. We've known each other a long time.
This is very true. It is nice to be back casting with you again, Frosk. Let's take a look.
I thought I got away from you in Australia.
We brought you back to Barcelona. All right. So,
How far do I need to go?
To the end of the earth.
I love you, Pyra.
I love you too. There's a lot of vision still being invested for Team Fire right now, and you can see it kind of spread across the map. And the Dragon regen going to help out for the LGL. Latin America South, however, they still are keeping relevant. It's just that big fight that they kept high-fiving their way in that put them so far behind on gold right now. But these guys turn objectives fast.
And you can see what they want, and they want the Baron. The problem is that you know, the desk said it best. When it comes to these 5v5s, when it comes to these 3v3s, Japan, you know, has shown that they're the better team at it. The last time we were in assassin mode, they won. They've now got Hellier.
Yep, and he is just caught between
Goodbye.
a rock and a hard place. Tussle finishes him off, gets the reset jump, but Klados is going to be jumping away himself. Now Bear is being chased down, and it's all on the retreat path. Teleport coming in for Diana. Will they last long enough? They find Dara. Klados picks him up, and now Klados running scared. Double kill over to Tussle in the meantime. Or I should say, Klados, Plugo coming in. Wara, they're going to get the pull in, but they flash out, and Plugo, he gets juked by his own team. Goes in, goes golden. Wara's not going to give him any help. He flashes, he dies already. Picks him up. 14-10, and the LGL keep on rolling.
But Wara is still alive and hanging around in the area to deter any sort of Baron. Meanwhile, Saras has pushed his way through one tower and is looking for another one.
Everyone's backed away, though, from Latin America South. Everyone that stayed alive, rather. And in comes Klados. Syros, he may have been huge last time around, but this is a very different story. This game, it has all been about Peretti, Tussle, and Evie.
But he's still very relevant to Japan's strategy, although hold on, deep teleport from behind Baron.
Very far. They're not going to save this tower with that. Tower goes down. Brown Skyfall's coming in.
He's still going in.
Wara really wants this fight, and he's going to finally have to realize that he cannot take it. So they burn a lot of summoners, a lot of ultimates, and LGL get out with a tower.
And there's no response here as we now take another look at Hellier. So unfortunately, he's just pushed way too far forward, not having vision on his flanks, and just the CC chain comes through to blow him up. From there, it's a good job by Wara to stay alive long enough, as well as chip enough health from these from Team Fire to make sure that they can't immediately turn into the Baron. What's cool here is you can actually see the communication between Plugo and Wara. So Plugo has the opportunity that he could just actually exit the fight, but he continuously is going back in and stalling them, trying to set his team up to say, okay, are we coming in for another round of burst?
Yeah, it's a little difficult when you're dealing with all those Mav Malmortiuses, and in the end, LGL is still able to eke out the fight win. Tussle was big. Klados, though, he really made that fight close enough to worth at this point. And you take a look at how the gold swung this time around. It's finally going much more in favor of the LGL, but it has not been a smooth path by any means.
Again, it was really the top lane skirmishes that continuously were just hammered through by Japan, giving them 2 towers and so much control and pressure on this map. And again, it's even more, it's always punishing in a normal 5v5 game, but even more so in the assassin mode because you don't have any wards. Like, there's one sight stone, it's now Eye of the Watcher on this entire map. So when you lose that much control of pressure, you can't see anything.
Yeah, and speaking of not being able to see anything at all, Wara, he's gone gold after the Nocturne and popped right on in, and Klados is backing away. Bear is going to be sacrificed. It looks like Dara goes for the chase. Plugo is able to pull them all back, however. He gives his life, and it's low health bars for the LJL, but in comes Wara. Can he finish it? No, he cannot.
And that's the problem, is that Wara wasn't there when Plugo was tanking up all the damage and finding the CC. They didn't have anything to layer after it. So, misplaced fight. Latin America South continuously getting punished by Japan's superior 5v5.
Shining through hugely this time around, and it may not be the same dominating fashion, but the LGL are pulling ahead once again in Assassin, but Wara is looking to try and pick off Saros, who sidesteps the chains. Flashy play, and now they're on the retreat path. Again, we've seen it. Take the tower, leave, do not need to keep fighting this one when you have low health bars, and they get away with it.
And it's cute, the interactions between Nocturne and LeBlanc right now in terms of who's going to get the chain, or the CC off on the chain versus the CC off on the heal, and oh god.
Uh-oh, right into the blind spot, and Helior is sent back to Fountain the express route. Klados now has nothing left in the tank. Tussle will take a swipe to finish him off, and they ping straight for Baron. Tussle is even going to look to steal away the red buff, and he does manage to get it.
And that's what I was talking about. You're against Assassins, you have no vision, it's more punishing than ever before. Wara is pretty much their only hope right now. And
Bear just grabs a ward, but there's not much you can do about it. The control ward's going to be cleared away. Dara is even blocking. Wara goes into the pit, but he's finished off by Heretti. They grab the dragon and some dessert on top of it. 3 members dead on Latin America South. The LGL with a Baron buff now at 27 minutes.
And the shoe is completely on the other foot between Game 1 and Game 2. Japan looking far more comfortable when it comes to these skirmishes and these fights and taking down Latin America.
Yeah. They got beat in the 5v5, and they turn around, well, this is our wheelhouse. This is what we're going to do, and it's looking like we are heading to the 1v1s for sure.
We're going to have fun. We're going to play Nocturne.
Yeah. And, you know, Saros wasn't massively carrying this game, but he's definitely proved his worth. And clutch use of the paranoia. Let's take a look, though, at the other lack of vision.
You had so many abilities to check that bush. You had the charm, you had a Q, you could have thrown a little chain in there.
I mean, Helior just,
but
one moment he was there, and then...
to check it with your teeth.
Yeah, not a good idea. Baron gets shredded pretty fast, and now there's going to be another Ocean Drake taken on the side of the LGL, so they have even more regen. It came in really handy that last time because they're just barely winning these fights, and they can walk away, and they're healthy again.
Triple
like
Ocean.
Oh, hello. In goes Saros. Instant exhaust on a bear. That's fine, though. They've done the job. They pushed them back. They have Baron-empowered minions on the way.
Is a bit scary to see how well they will siege. Again, if we're talking about the meta of Assassin mode, these compositions are really reliant on Baron just because they don't have an AD carry. So need help pushing down these structures unless they want to look for a dive, which without Saros having his ultimate, probably a no-go.
Yeah, for Latin America South, the game plan just seems to be try to wait it and bait it out, but Team Fire playing way too comfortably at the moment. Wara looks like he's going to go for a pick onto Saros, but that is a 2-level disadvantage.
He's also playing around the spell shield. Again, the micro interactions between, or the micro interaction windows between the spell shield, the fear, as well as the chain and LeBlanc's big distortion damage are very cute. Who's going to come out on top in that matchup?
Yep. Now they're slowly losing damage on the turret. Tussle, the evolved spikes, keeps on sending out the AoE damage. Dara keeps on chasing them away, and they're just getting chipped down just like this tower. Right up to top. Wash, rinse, repeat. And this one's uncontested at the moment. There's a bigger minion wave. Tussle is scaring them all the way back to base, and that is a very quick tower take.
Should be the inhibitor as well. We'll see if they're able to get more. They do have an inside track with Dara here.
Yep, empowering those minions right in the mid. And go down to the bottom if they want to do it as well. And it seems like Latin America South are running out of options in this game. A few more Baron-empowered minions. They've had a hard time finishing this particular tower, but it looks like it might be about to change. And they can once again go back down to the bottom lane. Latin America South had a brief, very brief reprieve.
At this point, they're just trying to retain as many inhibitors as possible. Best case scenario for them is to not lose any, but obviously losing one, especially the top one, isn't going to be the end of the world, but they cannot afford to lose another one.
Yeah, we're 30 minutes into this game, and it's starting to look very, very, very grim as Saros gets nailed by the charm, and he just doesn't care. Another tower is going to fall. Seems like these side waves are much harder to defend as Evie has found Helior, and they chunk him down to half health and some change. Klados can't get involved. Wara is going to get dove on by Tussle, but Plugo is going to try to make the hero play as he goes golden. And Dara is going to go down. Bear will finish him off, but the rest of Latin America South are getting ripped to shreds. A double kill for a Tussle. Another inhibitor is going to fall. He hops over the pit, and he's chasing Klados away from his own base.
And unfortunately for them, that will be the Baron inhibitor that falls down, so LJL can just play this one out rather methodically, continue to shove these super creep waves into the 2 open lanes, and then just play around the Baron again.
They know where he is. Klados isn't getting away from this one. Or is he? I was wrong.
It's not necessarily worth killing him.
No, but it would look good. Well, let's take a look at it once again. Started on the bottom, and then Helior, I think it's got.
So the supports are actually going to trade their health bars here. Bear is going to dive down onto the back, and he will clean up Daria. But unfortunately, the problem is that when Plugo and Klados finally go in with Bear, Wara is back on Nexus spawn right now. He's healing up. So again, there's all of this CC and there's all of your tank line going in, but there's no one to follow that up.
As much of a tank lane as you can have in this game mode, it just hasn't been enough damage for them. And now, Latin America South are desperately trying to keep their base clean of enemy minions.
It's so weird to call it a tank line in Assassin mode.
Yeah. Relatively speaking, they're tanks.
False tank Diana. And false tank Bear.
Yeah. You would think bears are pretty tanky. He's got a black cleaver, though.
He's an ice bear.
Ice bear.
Rawr.
It's a good ice bear impression.
I work on it every day.
I'm glad it's shown. All right. So back to the siege goes Team Fire, but they have no more Baron. There's 2 minutes before that'll respawn. They may not need it as much, though, because they keep chipping away. It's just a matter of time before those minions keep on
simply
shoving.
That there's nothing else available on the map for them. That's why they're here.
Well, there might be kills. Wara is just getting demolished. Tussle, he's not even afraid anymore. There's the flash, the Grand Skyfall. Look at the AoE they're dishing, and Tussle, it's a godlike kill. Saros on a rampage. That's a triple kill for Nocturne. And they might as well just give him the quadra at this point. Boom, it's a double for Tussle, and that's going to be the ace. That's going to be GG. 32.5 minutes in, the LJL will equalize, and guess what, Froskurinn? We're going to the 1v1s!
We're going to the shootout. And I wish I could tell you what happened in that last team fight, and the only thing I can say is scumbag Tussle denies the pentakill from mid lane Nocturne on Saros.
That's okay, he had a pretty good game at the end of it all. And what a big victory for the LJL. They will force it all the way to the final match, the 1v1s. It comes right down to it.
Pressure is on now. We just saw that when it came time to put your mechanics on the line to play these very explosive champions, that Latin America South fell down twice now to Japan. And now they've got to put their mechanics on the line without any of their team around them. One thing that's really made Latin America South strong in this tournament is being able to work and move around the map as a unit. I think LJL, they're feeling really good going into this 1v1 shootout.
Oh, they've got to be. They have mechanics, definitely what they are all about. And you know, you talk about team unity and working together as a unit, but for Latin America South, they were too chunked. They could not get involved and take the 5v5, and obviously Assassin 5v5s always tend to be clunky anyways, so clearly not in their comfort zone, and they just got beaten.
And in particular, it was kind of Wara who let them down, the fact that he wasn't there to follow up on the initiation that Plugo was providing, so just constantly mismatched. But on the other side, I know that you kept saying that Saros wasn't, you know, the big guy in terms of the KDA, that it really was all about Evie, that it really was all about Tussle, but Saros was still doing so much work and how he was setting up the map for his team and then coming through with the triple kill in the end.
I was going to say, then he gets a triple kill at the end, and it's like everything I say
he evened
is like,
it out,
nah, it's okay. He almost got the penta.
I mean, he was doing so much work. He got, what, 2 towers on the bottom lane just straight for free?
Just solo pushing himself. And like the paranoia, you said it yourself, it's so huge when there's not as much vision available in the game.
We didn't necessarily get to see it exploited, but you can see the mentality there.
Yeah, so that was about it. So, wow, what a match.
We should toss to the analyst
I think we
desk.
should. Why don't we let them take it away? We have a tied series, guys. Analysts, take it away.
Thank you, Pyra, and the assist coming in from Frost there on that handover. Disastrous game at certain points for both teams. Before we get into the thick of it, let's talk a little bit about picks and a little bit about lane assignments. Some interesting adjustments here for both teams.
You say disaster, I say hilarious. I thought that was an insanely fun game. I thoroughly enjoyed watching all the different champions that we had come out. We also got the Nocturne mid. Now, the cool thing about Nocturne is he actually does pretty well into LeBlanc conventionally, and he kind of sucks into Diana. For some reason, they decided to swap out the Diana from the LeBlanc, which confuses me a little bit because in terms of trading pattern, every time you try to go in as a Nocturne, it's actually really easy for the Diana to just disengage, and you have to make a really tough decision on the Nocturne as to which part you actually decide to spell shield, because if you spell shield the Q, that means you mitigate a lot of the R, but it sets up nice for the E follow-up with the gank. You also have the shield, and there's a lot of different abilities on the Diana that it actually becomes very difficult to decide what to shield.
I'm very sure that the Nocturne wins against Diana. I'm so sorry, but...
No, dude, as a Nocturne main, I promise you, Diana does really well into
but
Nocturne.
that has to be like after level 11 or something, because the early game, it's all about Nocturne in that matchup.
All right, well, we can continue to debate. Maybe we'll see that later in the day in our second series when they get a chance to go on Assassin's mode. But looking at the way this game unfolded, we praised Japan for their mechanics. We thought it was going to be good, but did not start well. Things looked pretty great when we take a look at this bot lane fight.
Yeah, it was a little sloppy. I mean, this looked really good because it's just like, Bear's under the tower by himself, only Helios following after. We all dog power on top of him like good assassins should. Perfect. Follow up onto Helio as well, take down the Playmaker, who had some pretty sick game plays in this game as well. And it's like, all right, just Plugo left, and it's like, haha, you've activated my trap card.
And look at that Colossus shield too on top of that. He's so tanky now, he gets a dangerous game.
Yeah, I feel like we forgot about Courage of the Colossus because, you know, it was all Assassin's mode, at least on the second day when we did play this originally, but clearly it's still pretty strong.
Well, it paid off there.
Of course, however, as we move forward in the game, you can see some shots of the players here. What we did notice was that it wasn't just Japan making mistakes. Latin America South, similarly, despite having a lead at certain points, also got, I think, a little too far ahead of themselves. The coordination wasn't quite there for the team, and in this particular instance, a little too eager to make something happen or to get something back.
Yeah, I mean, we have to give some props to Tussle as well. His map movements were fantastic in the early game, utilizing the fantastic ganking power, especially at level 11 that Kha'Zix has. But as you were rightly saying, it was often a situation for Latin America South where it was like a 1-by-1-by-1 where they were trying to redeem something back, but it ended up just falling short.
If they just accepted their loss and gave up the tower for one death, they would have probably been in a good position in the game to still like do a lot. But once you just go 1-by-1-by-1 and all of you guys, everyone is just dying, and then one team has a side stone, the other team has no side stone, which is something that I would like to point out. It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why everyone buys it.
Yeah, it's fair, it's fair. Of course, got to give some props to Evie. He had insane damage that game, 791 damage per minute, as well as 33.5% damage share overall. But now, 1v1s are ahead of us, so before we send it to break, what are your thoughts? Is this just another mechanical mode that Japan is going to dominate? What do we expect this to be?
Okay, so the big thing here is we're not playing out all of the games. So it's like you have to win your first couple and then try and secure the win here. So I think the teams are looking to front load with the strongest players and just try and get those wins as fast as possible. But that depends on how many good players they have. So they may want to put a meat shield out first to soak up a good player and then send out the big backline carries.
Any other thoughts, gentlemen? Is there anything that's going to mix it
up?
All right, Pulse got it. Pulse nailed it 100%.
It's just like we would send Mithy out first, so he would be our meat shield, and then we would.
That didn't work for us when we did send Mithy out, though.
Exactly,
I lost in 1 minute.
We
all right.
Saying to play by play.
Well, it's no longer about our 1v1s, of course. It's going to be about the two teams facing each other, and everything is on the line for these guys. So we're going to take a quick break. Next, Latin America South and Japan. I don't need this. Move from the Rift to the Murder Bridge, where this Tide series will be decided mano a mano. See you guys in a few minutes.
I'm proud.
PogChamp.
Mano a mano.
Blugo's got to burn that flash, and they finish him off.
Oh, Blugo!
Nice pulling by Blugo, and Wara is coming up huge. Blugo is able to stay alive, even through the minion damage. He gets the level up. And now Wara's just going to try to misdirect. He does, and in comes Tussle. Oh, they blue smite him down. Wara's got the chains, and they finish the job. A teleport coming in for Diana. Will they last long enough? They find Dara. Klados picks him up, and now Klados running scared. Double kill over to Tussle in the meantime. That's a triple kill for Nocturne. And they might as well just give him the quadra at this point. Boom, it's a double for Tussle.